guys, welcome back to West Texas Bushcraft. Well, finally made it out of the backyard, so I can actually show you a few extra things. But today I kind of want to show you about what luxury bushcraft is all about, if you want to call it luxury. Bushcraft really is more or less just learning some of the principles to be able to stay alive. So there's nothing to say that you have to sleep in the dirt. So I want to show you what I like to set up for camp and show you a campsite that I have scouted out in the past here and have stayed at on quite a few different occasions. So if you will stick with us, we'll get the camp set up and I'll show you what's going on. So there's my sleeping quarters for tonight, guys. It's the lap of luxury as far as bushcraft goes. This is the War Bonnet Blackbird. It cost me a little bit, and since you guys know me being about budget, sometimes it's worth spending the money, especially when it comes to sleep, because if you are lost and you're backpacking and this thing doesn't weigh hardly anything and you do wind up in a survival situation, this isn't going to weigh you down, and it'll also allow you to get good rest at night too. So let's take a closer look at the War Bonnet Blackbird. Here, this is a 1.1 silicone nylon, also known as sil nylon on the hammock forums. So you can see here, this is our entry point. I'm going to open it. Has a bug net built in. It's a no-seam mesh, so no-seams don't get in there. It is a double layer bottom. If I can do that in the camera at the same time. There we go, right there. It's a double layer bottom, which will help keep mosquitoes from biting you. With the two layers, it makes it for a more comfortable lay. Plus, with this, you can slip a blow-up air mattress in there, one of those backpacking mattresses. On this back side, here also ties out, and this is a gear shelf. You can put all kinds of stuff. I put a whole change of clothes up in here. So this is a really nice thing to have. This is one of the reasons that this is so popular. Plus, laying in this thing, you lay in these diagonal, and right here is an out stitch called a foot box. This is what makes this thing the most popular one out there, is you put your feet in this side and it gives you a good flat lay. So this, you cannot beat this hammock as far as I'm concerned. I've made my own, I've bought other ones, nothing lays any better than this one. This one's pretty sweet. This is suspended by tree huggers, which is an inch wide strapping. And this specific one here, I have not changed this out. It is whipped on a gathered end, and the tree hugger connects to the hammock with these D-rings, so this is fully adjustable here. It goes up to the tree, connected by or hooked in with the Dutch clip. Dutch is one of the guys on the hammock forums, so go check out Dutch on hammockforums.net. He knows his stuff, and he makes these out of titanium. They're not real expensive, but this is nice. All you have to do is stitch a loop in your tree hugger, and I made these tree huggers. You stitch your loop in there, and you can see all the reinforced stitching I've done, and then you hook it onto the Dutch clip, so that way you can swing this around and just simply hook it. There's all different kinds of methods for tree huggers. This is by far the best if you're looking to buy some gear. Tree hugger on the other side. I like to hang them about eye level because I'm short and it makes it hard for me to get up in there. And then this is the bag that it comes in. This is what is called a black bishop bag. It's open on both ends. Right there, and I have it cinched down. This is great because when you're getting ready to pack your hammock up or unpack your hammock, you tie one end off and then cinch that down around your whipping, and then on this end when it's slid out of the hammock, you can just grab the other end and just pull it all the way out to the other tree hugger, and this thing never touches the ground. This hammock was well over $100, so you can go to ground if you need to, but I prefer not to in such a thing. Also tied into this hammock is this nice ridgeline. This is Amsteel. This is a lot of the same stuff like I was showing you in the cordage video. This is a good, super strong ridgeline. They say on hammocks that you want to be able to hang these where you can twist it fully straight up. I don't like to do that. I like mine to where I can do about a 3/4 bend in it, because I like my ridgeline to be a lot more taut when I get in there. It makes it a lot more comfortable. But the benefits of these ridgelines, of course, keeps the bug net up off of your face, but you can also hang gear off of this as well. So the ridgeline is a nice thing to have. Some gathered in hammocks come without them. Most of them do come with them, but you can add it for pretty much next to nothing, and it's very, very easy to do. There's the Warbonnet Blackbird. Hang on just a few minutes. We'll get the Warbonnet Superfly Tarp up, and I'll show you how that functions. So stay tuned. Okay, so here is the Superfly Tarp. I'm going to say designed by Warbonnet. So right off the bat, I'm just going to say Warbonnet, my bad. I copied it. At the time, you didn't have camo, and I prefer camo. So there you go. There's my apology, Warbonnet. Anyway, let's have a look at this. This is one of the most versatile tarps out there. I made this one out of 1.0 ripstop nylon. I have not treated this with silicone yet to waterproof it, and I've been saying I was going to do that for like a year. So one of these days maybe I'll get a video on how to do that. So let's have a look at this bad boy. This is set up in winter mode. There's multiple different ways you can do this. So basically this is kind of a suspended tent over the hammock. So let's take a look inside here, and you can see there's the old hammock with no underquilt. It is too friggin' hot for an underquilt, so that's not happening today. So this is designed with these two doors that pull from this point, and I attach them straight to my MSR groundhogs. On the back side and on the front side both, there's tie outs. So I have not tied this out because I'm going to be changing this out, but you pull on that and that expands the room inside the thing. So that way you got room to move around and you're not scraping your head against it so bad. So it's pulled down nice and tight. We have a gross grain ridge line down the top, which helps strengthen that and gives you a nice pull. And as you can see, it is pulled really tight. So the wind can get up on this thing pretty good, and it does not really move around a whole lot. Rain rolls right off of it, especially if it's treated. So here on the other side, we also have another door. So you can overlap these doors one way or one direction or the other, depending on which way the wind is blowing, to keep it nice and warm inside there. Now, a mod that I've done, I'm not sure if I've seen anybody else do it just yet, but this is that Zing-It I was talking to you about during the cordage video. But what I've done with this Zing-It here is I've made miniature whoopee slings out of this and attached that on there, so that way I don't have to sit there and wind it all around the stake and then try to tie it off and then undo all that mess later. So now I can just simply pull slack in here and then just flat hook it right around my stake here. So this is also pretty easily adjusted as well. So I pull it, and then from this end I can work it and loosen that up a little bit, and now you can see how this is drawn in. So now I've loosened it just a bit, or I can really crank it down by grabbing this side, and that loop just slides right down on that berry. Then you can just milk it right down, and it's nice and tight. This is the same kind of sling I was telling you about that a lot of people prefer to hang hammocks from. I have several hammocks at home that I have attached with whoopies, and one day I'm going to do that to my hammock. It's too darn hot to sleep in that thing tonight, so I'm going to move it into a porch mode and show you how that's set up, and then we'll lounge around for a little bit and let you see how it all goes. Okay, so here's the Superfly in porch mode. Very poor porch mode. This is a problem. this flaps. So if any of you guys from hammock forums are watching this, I want to know how to fix that. So tell me, please. Anyway, porch mode. A couple of sticks jammed into the ground. My whoopies hooked across that, looped with reflective cordage. How many times have I almost broken my neck out here at night not being able to see? And then this would be a good time for all you guys, if you haven't gone to westtexasbushcraft.com, go by there and have a look. I got a post up about knots. It's not a video, but it's some images with a little bit of demonstration. So learn some knots. This is where it comes in handy. Here and there for that nice little loop. Anyway, here's what you got. In porch mode, you take one side and you can lift it up. You take your doors, overlap them across the top, hook them together. You can tighten that out. I had it tighter and it still had the flap, but I don't know, I may have to work on that later. But this just kind of gives you a basic idea of what it all looks like when you put it together this way. So there we go, I got that nice and tight. Keep that from flapping. These, you can hang some gear off of that. As long as it's not too heavy, or it'll be down there in your face. You can raise this up much higher. You could put something else here, another tie out, lift that up higher if you wanted to. You know, for any kind of modification. You can do that to any kind of tarp. On the back side, it's still set up pretty well the same. I did tie them out so that way you can see what it looks like tied out. And I used this because my strings were too long, so I wrapped around the tree and put that little stick toggle in there. But I've done the same thing on the back side with the doors. I've pulled them straight back. Now, another way that you can hang this tarp is just like a big canopy, a big shade. You can hang it diagonally, you can hang it straight across. You can take that other side, get it up off the ground, lift it up, and then take it straight out. However you want to do these things, it's always good to practice with them. But that makes a good windbreak on the back side, makes a nice shady area. You can see the big shade footprint right there, so that's nice and cool under there with that breeze blowing. So I got the breeze actually coming in from this way, so it actually feels much better. So let's hang out for a little bit and lounge. Yeah, it's shady, but it's way too hot to nap. So what do you say we go take a hike and I'll show you around the stomping grounds here.